Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, welcome to Oklahoma. Today we are on the Patreon server. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can do so in the top right hand corner. Anyways, today we're working on a little bit of harvesting. We don't have very much equipment at the moment because we just started on this map, on the server. This is what it looks like. I did a live stream on it, I guess a week or two ago, I think it was. And we switched the server up because we all kind of liked the map. And right now we're joined by Bob and Spud. Happy to hear Bob is on time, which is good. And Spud is here as always. Anyways, so I'm manning the semi-truck at the moment, and it's kind of dirty apparently. That's what I'm manning at the moment. And once I get down to the field, and we're working on field number 35, I'll be able to get the auger wagon working again. Because what we're doing is we're doing a little bit of an auger wagon setup, or a overloader setup, which is pretty sweet. And it's kind of fun to have that kind of setup on a server as opposed to having it all through Courseplay, which is kind of neat. So I'm digging it quite a bit. There we go. But it's a nice map. I really like it. It's open, but there are some different levels of terrain, which is really nice. I find that sometimes on American maps they can be just straight flat, and I don't like that. I like flatter maps, but not like just like a pancake flat. This one has got some rolling hills in it in some places. Not everywhere, but some places as well. It's got lots of variety. It's multi-fruit, which is really nice. It has different animals in it as well, which is really sweet as well. So it's got lots of variety on it. Now we don't actually own this field number 35, but we are harvesting it because we want to make sure we get as much material in as possible, because we have soil mod on this map as well, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner. And if we have soil mod, or if we have soil mod installed, we will have to be careful about the different yields and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull onto the field real quick here. And they're probably yelling at me right now saying, "What are you doing? How come you're not doing your job," sort of thing. Because they've done a couple headlands now. And alright, that's on the field. Let's grab this guy real quick. So this is what I was doing before. I got the case. This is the case 380 CVX, case Magnum. And I got the in-game auger wagon, or overloader. And the reason why I pulled the in-game one is just because it works, basically. And there weren't any bugs to it. I know there was a new release of one of the Kinsey wagons just recently as well, so I could potentially add that one. It just depends on how functional it is on a server. And that's kind of the problem you run into with lots of mods, is that some of them just don't function on a server, which is unfortunate. So, and that's one thing I'm kind of encountering that I've never really encountered before, because this is the first time I've been running I've been running a server for a few months now, so it is pretty sweet though, I have to admit. So here we are, harvesting soybeans, as you can see. One mod I should actually add, maybe, is the Maxi Overlay mod once again, which is a nice mod. We'll see if we can't get it working on the server. We did have it on the server for a brief period of time, but for whatever reason it didn't function the way it was supposed to, which is a bit unfortunate. So, excellent. Very cool. So we started off the map with 2 combines, so we just kept the 2 combines for now. But let me show you what some of the mods we have while we're just unloading there. That's totally the wrong button, Ian. There we go. I'll show you some of the mods we have installed at the moment. So we have Limburg J Moddings. We have his combines on the server, just not downloaded, or just not purchased yet. And we have the Wilson trailer, also done by Razor Modding. But I think Limburg J Modding did and added some few things. And then we have both of his rippers combinations here, and we have his discs as well. And then we have the Night Vista once again, because it's a good little piece of machinery. And we also have the Universal Pack right here, the Crone again, the Tedder once again, and we have the John Deere 690 baler. We may or not use that, I'm not sure yet. And we have the OEB weight and the OEB livestock trailer. So we'll see how it goes. Not sure what else we're going to add yet, but we definitely will add a couple other things. So if you have any suggestions, by all means leave a suggestion below. Remember, the mod has to be multiplayer compatible, which unfortunately not every mod is, so be aware of that. Oh, I totally missed that. I don't know how, but I totally did. There we go. So once Spud's unloaded there, I think he'll start again. Put the pipe out. Excellent. Yeah, but actually, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get some of the more, some of the different mods. I do actually have some other mods actually on the server, but so here's the tractors we have on the server. These ones, these smaller tractors actually have the gearbox mod, and I wasn't sure. I had it installed and I was messing around with it, but I didn't know how to engage it in drive because I've never used them before. So I was like, well. I pressed all the buttons too, like seriously all the buttons. Like I went through my keyboard and just pressed all of them. So I think it's a combination. I just don't know what the combination is. So I'll have to be aware of that. We may use them again, but for now I'm just gonna keep them. I think I'm gonna just deactivate them off the server because it could be kind of a mess trying to figure it out. But it is a cool. I like the idea behind it at least. So that is the soybean texture. Looks a bit like. Well, that's actually a pretty good texture. Nope, that looks like soybeans. Well, that's pretty good actually. Sometimes you get some conflicts with other mods. Particularly, it's usually other maps is where you get the problems from. So you get textures that don't look the way they're supposed to look. So that's usually the problem you'll run into. It'll be you'll have some map that'll conflict with another one. So that's usually what that's usually what the problem is, at least. So like, let's say if you had the States of version 8 in here and this map in your mods folder, and then you're harvesting like rocks or something like that, that's probably the problem. Alright, so that looks like it is headland number 2, and they're just going north-south in the field now, which is good. What I'm going to try and do is going to try to avoid driving on the crop, which can be difficult sometimes, depending on the length of the field. This one I think should be okay, but Spud is at 23%, so we'll see how that works out. Let's just see. Let's see how far they can actually get before they actually have to be unloaded, because it may be a long ways. Who knows? I don't know. What's the percentages on the field? We got 3, 2, and 71% moisture. That's not too bad actually. That will probably be decent yields, and they look like they're not going up super quickly. I know there have been some problems with other ones, but it's not so bad on this particular map. So this is the Wilson trailer, really nice trailer actually, and this is the Kenworth T800, and I'll put a link in the top right hand corner for the mod mashup I did on this particular truck. It's pretty nice. One problem with this truck and these trailers is that these trailers are actually lower than this truck is, so you actually have to kind of prop them up a little bit, which is a bit of a pain. But really nice models in this, and these trailers don't slide around at all, which is really slick. And then, oh, I never noticed that before. You can put them as tandem trailers, as you see right here. And this is a 36 foot, and I think it's a 32 or 36 foot trailer with a 40 foot trailer, I think it is. I saw a lot of these actually out west, and you do see a lot of these during harvest season as well, because you need to get the grain rolling. Looks like they'll be okay, so I'll wait for them to turn around, and then I will unload them to avoid driving on the crop. Now we don't have the drive control mod installed, but it's an easy activation. So, one moment, I'm gonna grab a quick sip of water. I'm recording this in the evening, I guess would really be. So because I'm recording this in the evening, I'm drinking water. As I'm sure you're aware, if you followed me for any length of time, I don't really drink coffee. I try not to drink coffee in the evening. I drink coffee in the afternoon sometimes, but not often. Mainly because I want to sleep. Not that coffee keeps me super awake, but in order to avoid any potential situation. Because that can happen. Alright. Now in an ideal world, I'm not sure how you'd do this in real life. I guess you'd just stay on the same side the whole time, and then you'd try to think how this would work. I guess the person who makes the short turn should go first, and the person making the long turn should go something like that. There is a way to do it. I don't know if they're going to follow that, so it should be interesting to see how it works. And we'll see who goes first. Looks like Bob's going first. So it should really be the other way around. So Spud should be ahead of Bob, is the way it should work. In reality. Because if Spud were ahead of Bob, I could unload them both without driving on the crop. So this is where having the side panel or some sort of analog function for changing your cruise control, it's really, really nice. So like, it makes doing this right now, what I'm doing, really easy, because then you just, you know, roll the button down or roll the button up depending on the speed you want to go at, and it's really, really slick. And the annoying part about servers, I don't know what it is, but I turned the dirt off again, but it still came back. I don't know what the deal is. Alright, looks like Spud's almost emptied. 9%, 4%, that glance mod. So the top right hand corner is the glance mod, if you're wondering what that is. And it's very helpful for what I'm doing right there, because you can tell how empty or how full they are. And now I can't get to Bob. Not without driving ahead of Spud, at least. Oh, there he goes. Spud got it. So I was trying to avoid this, but c'est la vie, I guess. In the real world, like, if you did this, like, the person who owned the crop would just be livid. But alas, this is a game, so you have to make some compromises, I guess. But soybeans, I think, actually my in-laws put their soybeans in not too long ago. So they got all the soybeans in the ground now, which is really good. Because basically for most plants, the earlier you get them into the ground, the better. They have longer time to mature. And it depends on what type of crop type you put in, because there's different types of soybeans, of course. So if you put a lower heat unit soybeans, they'll be ready earlier in the season. And if you put a higher heat count soybean, they'll be ready later in the season. So it really depends on what type of soybean you put in, because there are like different heat units, different style of soybeans in that regard. So, and usually, I think in Ontario, usually soybeans are ready in the fall, and usually I think it's about September, October, just depending on the year, really. So, that's what happens, at least in Ontario. So, excellent. Looks like that's good. Let's go ahead and unload this right now. Put it over on the side. And we'll go from there. So what I'll do is I think I'll keep the first episode a little bit shorter. There's a very specific reason because of that. We have guests coming over, and I've just been notified that the guests have arrived. So I shan't keep this too long. We'll go for a few more minutes. They may walk in, so you may hear some noise in the background and some hugging, and you won't hear the hugging. I hope not, at least. But you might hear some talking and whatnot. So, but that's what I'll do. I'll keep it relatively short. And it looks like this truck's almost full. Maybe the first trailer is full. So these trailers actually hold, I believe. Let's check here. It's 50 or 49,000 liters, I think it is. I think it's what the first trailer holds, and then the second altogether holds 91,000 liters, I think is what it is in total. So, it's pretty slick. Bob's way up there again. Once I hop back, oh, I guess I'll have to hop off the server now that I think about it. Guests and all. It's all good though. Alright, so let's finish up this pass, and then I'll have to hop off. There we go. Drop down the speed a little bit here. Nothing too crazy. So I think we could probably get a pretty good yield off this field if we actually, if we had the ideal nutrition levels at, like, 5 and 4. The moisture being at 71 is a bit high, not too crazy. I think your yield might be a little bit lower with that kind of percentage, but not super crazy. So one thing we'll definitely have to watch out for is we'll definitely have to watch out for the various levels of herbicides, not the various levels, but the different types of herbicides, because we have multi-fruit, and multi-fruit is a bit different because the herbicides aren't the same for everything, of course, so you have to be careful about that. I think in the soil mod reference sheet, it's perfectly, I think it has soybeans, rye. There's only a few things, I think there's only one thing it doesn't include. I think that's grass, I want to say it doesn't include. And I think maybe it's one other thing. Rice, maybe it is? No. Sorghum? I think it's sorghum, actually. That's what I'm thinking it doesn't include, so. At least if my memory serves. That's what it is. Perfect. Look at that. Finish off that pass. And drive away. What I'll do is I'll unload, because it's right there, and they won't need me to unload quite yet, so you can do one pass. This is a small field, so it's not a big deal. But if you're doing like field 13 or field 6, you would definitely have to unload midway. Like, you know, quite obviously. Alright, let's unload right here, and we'll call it a day. Perfect. Look at that. Oh well, that's full. That didn't take much. I thought we were going to take a little bit more than that, but nope. So there you go. That's it for me for today, folks. Alright. I almost did the same thing again. Alright, folks, that's it. I'm out. My name's Iain Robson. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Oklahoma. I know I did. I love playing. This map's pretty slick, and it's always fun playing with Bob and Spud. And Spud was on time, like I mentioned, so. Anyways, if you enjoyed yourself, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more multiplayer on Oklahoma. My name's Iain Robson again, and I'll catch you guys later.